So to turn my attention inwards, do I at every moment for the things that I see, the things that I touched, or even my thoughts, I will ask myself if that is if that is true, or how should I inquire?
Yeah. So this is self-enquiry is the only way that you can actually dissolve the ego to experience yourself. Okay? And that is done by sitting in silence with your eyes closed. Okay? And at first, what you're going to experience is your body and mind trying to move you away from your self-enquiry session. Right? Because again, it's going back to we've trained ourselves our whole life to move outward. So when we come into silence and we sit there, at first your mind is going to be going, let's get out of here. We don't want to be here. And your body is going to have these urges to want to push you to just get up and move and be anywhere than here in silence. Okay? This is you're starting to understand how your mind and body work, how your ego works. It is an outward effort. And what we're doing here, and this seems like this at first, you seem like you're in a good state of mind. You seem to be in a peaceful state. You don't seem to be in a state of fear or depression or anxiety or PTSD. Okay. So these tendencies are going to be relatively mild. Okay. If you were in a state of fear, your body would just be like, raw. But you are in a calmer state. So, but that doesn't mean that your mind and body are not going to try to push you away from here, okay? So, it's at first watching your mind and body try to move you away, okay? Your mind's going to play games like, May, this is boring. This is boring. There's no value here. Let's go do something else that's fun. You're like, hold on. That's an attempt to get me to move away. And everybody has our unique conditioning, and so we're all going to have our unique mental movements away from ourselves. It's just you need to start to become aware of those movements, mental movements, to get you to move. Your body's going to be the same way. There's going to be these like physical tendencies are going to want to push you away, and you're going to say, "Oh, I'm on to you. I see what you're trying to do, and I am going to sit here in silence and stillness." And when these happen, this is where it gets counterintuitive for us, because we're always taught to accomplish something. You have to have an action that creates something. There's an effort, a doing, which has an outcome. This is counterintuitive to that. This is a relinquishing of effort. So let me give you an example. My favorite example is that we're born an open palm. Okay, we're just this free-floating, effortlessness. There's no resistance in this palm. Okay, then between 4 and 6, our parents start to tell us we're cute, and we start to turn our attention away, and this palm starts to get a little tighter. Then we go into our teens. We might have education, and we might start a family in our late teens or early 20s. We start to become somebody. We start to, this freeness starts to go into it's tension now. An ego is contracted energy. Okay, and after several decades, this thing's pretty solid. It thinks it knows what it is. It thinks it's a solid mass running around in a world of other solid masses, solid objects. Okay, so in self-enquiry, when these tendencies come up, what we're doing is we're relaxing into them. It's almost like falling back in a way into them. And when you do, when this fist starts to open back up, notice that it's not new energy into the system. It's a relinquishing of prior energy, of stored energy. There's no new energy into the system. You're relinquishing that energy by relaxing back into the urges that are trying to move you away. Okay? You'll be experiencing this directly. Like you'll go, oh man, this is what Scott was saying. Oh yeah, I'm learning to relinquish, to let go, to surrender into this stored energy within me. And that seems to be what I would call kind of like one of the first phases of self-enquiry. Because after you have spent enough time there, you'll realize that these big urges, and most of your urges, they're just not there anymore. Nothing's here really trying to move you away. There's still going to be some thoughts that come up, and that's okay. But you have gone from maybe sitting in silence for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, to you can sit in silence for as many hours as you want now. That's a big accomplishment without doing anything. It's like, I like to say it's a relentless pursuit of effortlessness. You're working your butt off to achieve effortlessness. And out of that effortlessness, something happens that you'll experience. And what happens is the experience of peace, the experience of happiness, the experience of yourself. Are you familiar with Wu Wei, since you're in Taoism? Yeah, it's Wu Wei. Right? Wu Wei is the effortless action. By not doing anything, put that in my terms, by relinquishing your tendencies to move away from yourself, something becomes of that. That something is peace. It is Wu Wei. It's totally counterintuitive to a typical Western mindset.